What's up, traders? Clay here with Top One Trader. Let's take a look at the Forex outlook, and we're going to go into some gold and some other things. But let's dive in at the outlook for the week. This past Friday was an interesting turn of events for NFP, and you can see here on Forex Factory, it says U.S. government data may be impacted by the shutdown. So it says tentative events are subject to delay, revision, or cancellation. And we'll get into what we're looking at this week here in a second. But if I show you, if I come up here, I'll just take a look at some of these dollar pairs, right? For what would have been NFP this morning, here's a 4-hour candle. Literally like nothing happened. So it's pretty interesting to take a look at that. You know, here's 8 o'clock candle, 9 o'clock. And so a short little burst, and you know, we can look at this across some different pairs too. Take that off there so we can see a little bit better. Let's find that 8:30 a.m. candle here, 6, 7. This is it, right? So, like, man, for NFP, it's like a 20 pip move. So, kind of confusing on what actually happened there, if it happened. In fact, it says tentative. So, I don't even know if really, because of the shutdown, we even saw any action on that. So, interesting thing to take note of. And, you know, I have the pound dollar here, GBP USD. Which has been in a super nice downtrend. We saw some dollar strength that carried over from the past 2 weeks. And so the question is, if we can see a rebound from that. So, you know, NZD USD, I was talking about as a good shorting opportunity previously. And we see the same thing, right? So super interesting just to see how this all plays out. And I'm shooting this on Friday, right before market close. And look where gold closed at, 4K, right on the dot. So the question here with gold is, are we going to find and create some support and hold at this 4K level, or was this 4,400 the top and now we're starting to turn around, right? I mean, if we go to the daily chart, it looks like it's finding support. If I'm, you know, if I was to say, now we could make another leg down, yes, but there's something fishy going on because of all of the banks, countries stocking up on gold, right? So, you know, there's everybody talking about the housing bubble and, you know, financial bubble that's happening. You know, this could be a good indicator of that. Take a look at the S&P 500, made new highs, but on the backs of what, right? And we have the government shutdown and everything else. So that's something really to think about. So let's take a look at what we got going on this week. Monday, not much happening. Claimant count change on Tuesday. Bank holiday. So we have some action out of the FOMC speakers, but really not much on Wednesday. Thursday, unemployment out of Aussie. And Thursday, finally, we're going to have some inflation numbers, which it says tentative. So that will have to do with whatever happens with the government shutdown, right? If some sort of progress is made, really doubtful that anything will. That's just how these things go. But up until Thursday, there's like zero like massive data or even just relatively big data points in the market. So something to keep, which, you know, could work out really well, especially if you're a very technical trader. You don't have to worry about some big news event throwing you off. So that's interesting. You know, I want to talk about that with the dollar. We can take a look at some of these yen pairs too here. So on the daily, US dollar yen. Now I showed you, you know, dollar strength on pound dollar, New Zealand dollar. If I go to euro dollar, right? It's really pretty good setups here. Now, but let's take a look at these yen pairs, right? So we're seeing some good trending against yen weakness in the opposite direction, which, everybody loves GJ now, but this is one that's kind of in between. And I wanted to point this out too, how just on the money this gap ended up getting filled. So it's always interesting when that happens. NZD JPY, very range bound. But again, if we go to euro pound or euro yen, we see some nice moves here. So that's something I'm going to, I'm going to look for some of these yen pairs to potentially break out of the range. I think that's something to keep in mind or be aware of. And take a look at AJ, looking kind of decent, right? So take a quick peek at some of these cross pairs. Pound Aussie, man, look at this move from 22.08. This was from the 16th October, and we've moved in about 2 weeks 800 pips to the downside. So that's the thing about these cross pairs is, man, if you can catch one of these moves and have the discipline to hold it for a swing, you can make a lot of money, right? So I mean, it's there. At least the pips are there. So of course you have to have your risk to reward, your strategy, everything dialed in. But if you were looking for a pair to potentially swing, I think these could be some really good candidates. Pound New Zealand, the opposite from that, from Wednesday the 28th. This is a 600-point move. So there's some big opportunities in the market. It's going to be a huge week. We've got a great promotion going on right now for Black November, Black Friday coming up, Thanksgiving, and then rolling into the holidays. So we got a bunch of cool stuff coming out too. So stay tuned. We appreciate y'all and good luck in the markets. Happy trading. Peace.